everyone, it's Jordan. This particular week is a little bit harder on me, which I'm going to discuss with you today. I'm going to be taking a break from the studio content just for this week. I've got to discuss something that's pretty heavy on my mind and my heart. I'm gonna be pretty vulnerable here talking about it with y'all, but it's been a very important part of this journey, my overall journey in getting me to this point. And by the end of the video, you'll understand a little bit more what I'm talking about here. I got good news and I got bad news. The bad news isn't really news per se. It's just bad. And it used to be really bad. I mean, it's still really bad. But I'm going to go ahead and we'll start with the heavier stuff. That way we can finish her off with good stuff. I really like to leave everything off on a good note, on a positive note, moving forward, good stuff. Today is October 15th, 2025. Today also marks the 3-year anniversary of my best friend's passing. My best friend, Ariel, was a beautiful, genuine soul. She would go out of her way to help anyone and everyone, those that she loved, one of the people that would give the shirt off of their back for you. She cared deeply about those that she loved, and she just wanted to see them thriving and happy. A little bit of history on our friendship. I met Ariel when I was, I think, 18 years old, roughly 18 years old, and she was probably 15 or 16 years old. We met because she was dating my daughter's uncle. I was dating her father. I didn't like her in the beginning, and I had really no reason to, and that's just poor on my part. But we bonded, and basically from the moment we became friends, we were just best friends for several years to come. She was the first person to find out that I was pregnant with my daughter. I had taken a pregnancy test. It was positive.
Oops.
I was 19 years old. I was just scared sick. Just, what am I gonna do? So me trying to keep it cool, whatever. I walked out of the bathroom and she seen me and was like, whoa, dude, like, you're not looking so good. What's up? And I took her back into the bathroom and I showed her the test, and she was just like, oh shit. What are you gonna do? Obviously in that moment, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. She had her own views on options and stuff like that. We talked about it, just verbally discussed things, trying to process what was happening. At some point we ended up leaving to go get pizza because I don't want to be here right now. I just got some pretty big news. Let's get out of here and get some air. When my daughter's dad and I split up, I didn't have a lot of those friends anymore. Well, when we split up and I met my now husband, she was the only friend to reach out to me and was like, hey, I'd love to see you. Where are you staying at? Da da da. And she would come and hang out with me at Anthony's apartment. I remember she went to college. She wanted to be a vet tech. And she did get to be a vet tech for a while. She graduated. I remember being so proud of her for it because, dude, I am a 2-time college dropout, okay? I done tried. So when she went off into college, she did move away for a while, but she ended up graduating and doing exactly what she said she was gonna do. And she was awesome. She loved it. She loved animals. Like, she's always been an animal lover. Fast forward, Auntie and I get married. Now, I asked her to be in my wedding as a bridesmaid, to which she declined for her own reasons. It was nothing personal. I understood. It's fine. I wasn't upset. I just wanted her there regardless. That's all. That's all I wanted, was her to be there. We get to the wedding day and she shows up in this pretty black dress. She just always dressed in black, and she was wearing a dress. So that was a big deal because she didn't really dress up, She dressed in black and wore her band tees, her fishnets, just, same things that we had very similar tastes, to say the least. And you'll see her beautiful smile. We were all sitting on the stage, and obviously it's the bridal party, whatever, but that's my best friend. So I don't care if she's in the bridal party or not, I'm gonna figure this out. So she's sitting out, and mind you, she came alone. She didn't have a date, nothing like that. She just wanted to be there for me. I actually ended up yelling out to her in this room full of people. Hey! Come here! Come here! I got a chair, pulled up a chair to put at the table. That way she could sit with us, because you're meant to be up here whether you were in the wedding or not. You deserve a spot here no matter what. And I wanted her up there. So she ate dinner with us and everything. It was great. The bachelorette party, she was there for that. She actually was the driver. She was the sober driver that night. And she hauled me and all these fucking crazy ladies around and dealt with our fucking bullshit shenanigans, and she did a great job. The cops ended up called, and she had to do a sobriety walk to make sure, tell the cops, yo, I'm the sober driver here. Here I am. This is what I'm doing. And she had to do the walk and, the whole nine. She passed it. Flying colors, not a big deal. She was always there for me, to say the least. She also was an outstanding mother. In 2021, she became a mother to a beautiful baby girl. She made being a mom look so easy. It was a natural thing for her. And I remember when she found out she was pregnant, I was actually about to have my second child at this point with my now husband. So we were both pregnant together, but not really, because she got pregnant towards the end of my pregnancy. I'm 7 or 8 months pregnant with my son, and this girl texts me and is she's telling me what's going on, and she ends up telling me that she's pregnant. So I'm oh shit, what are you gonna do? Because just from the past, the story, I just told you guys. So again, we discussed the options, and she chose to keep the baby, and she understood at that point, oh, it's not that easy to make that decision, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm fucking scared to do this, and rightfully so. Being a mom is very hard, but again, she did so well. She did so well, and absolutely amazing. She did the baby shower, and I helped. I was there for that, and the whole nine. I went and seen her in the hospital when she had her. But as a lot of women do, including myself, she suffered with severe postpartum depression. Now, when I say severe, I experienced it. I had never seen something so just numbing. She did seek help with support from her family and whatnot, and her friends, and we talked as often as we could. And you know, if she wasn't doing so hot, I'd go over there and sit with her, and we'd just, you know, try to laugh. And you know, something changed in here. She was put on medication for this postpartum depression, and it wasn't working. Doctors kept switching her medication. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with how antidepressants and antipsychotics and all that shit works, but when you get off one, you're supposed to kind of, wean yourself off of it and take some space in between. By what I can recall, her doctors weren't doing that. They were just, oh, that's not working, well, let's try this. Oh, that's not working, let's just try this. So throughout that process, she was just, it was getting worse. She went absolutely numb. The meds just made her so numb. And I've just never seen anything like that. The smiling, excited for life girl that I knew just had no life in her eyes anymore. Her sparkle was just gone. I remember her telling me she couldn't really enjoy music anymore, and she was a music lover, you know, and she still did her best as a mom. She did have help at home, but it just wasn't her anymore. On October 15th, 2022, I was at a wedding and my phone was ringing a lot that evening. Texts on Messenger and like just my phone's blowing up in the middle of a ceremony. I had it on vibrate, you know, whatever, but it's blowing up and I see it blowing up. I'm hearing from people I don't typically hear from in her family and like her friends and stuff like that. So instantly I'm up to here anxious, like I'm internally panicking because I know she had been struggling, and you know, I'm hearing from everyone but her. So I'm scared. Well, we get the ceremony finished and I go outside and I end up calling her mom because like her mom's gonna know more than anybody else that's trying to contact me. So I just directly called her mom, and I remember very vividly, very specifically, when I called her mom was just, I'm like, hey, you know, is everything okay? I'm sorry, you know, I had this going on, what's up? And she was just kind of, honey, Ariel took her life this morning. And I remember that moment so clearly because I absolutely fell to the ground instantly and just screamed. I just couldn't believe that. That was a hard thing to hear, that my best friend was gone and she had successfully taken her life. It just, in the days following all that was just really, really hard to process and navigate. Mind you, this year specifically, 2022, I also had lost my high school best friend, and my daughter's dad had passed away not even 2 months before. I was already in pretty deep grief. Also, not to mention, but will mention, my brother passed away in 2020, and I was never able to fully process that because I had found out I was pregnant with my son like within days of my brother's passing. So I was already walking around with a lot of grief. A lot of grief. We have our service. It was a beautiful service. I spoke at it. I know people were shy to speak in front of a crowd. I wanted to make sure, if nobody was gonna speak, I was gonna speak. I made sure to break the ice on it because that woman deserved words. She deserved love. She deserved the absolute world. Just a good, genuine soul, honestly. I will probably never find another friend like her in this lifetime, ever. I really don't see that ever happening ever again. Just such a good person that just didn't deserve the shit that life handed her. Anyways, so after all of that grief and just the weight of it, I started to drink. I can't even say I started to drink because I had been drinking since like 15 years old. When all of that happened, I started drinking very, very, very heavily to cope. Like every day for years. I might have a day off in between because I was so hungover. It was I'll never drink again. And the pain I was in was so deep. Deep as a hole that you could throw me in, okay? Like, it was deep. Deep. I drank and drank and drank. It was really bad. I was in a very bad way. And I drank Budweiser. I mean, I drank liquor too. I would drink like whole bottles of Crown in a night. And I drank a lot of Budweiser though. And it made my belly hurt a lot. I'm a little IBS, belly gut problems girly, so I wasn't doing very good. Let's fast forward. 2 years after she had passed, I went over there and we had the plans of like, just reminiscing and smoking and having some drinks, in memory of her. Like, we're gonna get together, and this is something we had done for the last 2 years. Last year, when I got there and I had my beer with me, my my little 6-pack of bottles, it was me, one of our friends, and her mom. Now, I was under the impression that we were all gonna be drinking, but I was the only one drinking. Anyways, I was the only one drinking that day though. Something felt very uncomfortable about that with me. And that discomfort was so loud in my mind that it made me really consider, like, what am I doing? I mean, the more I do this, I'm gonna end up dying. I was trying to drink myself to death. My feet are going numb. Oh, my feet are going numb. Anyways, long story short, it wasn't very short. I decided this day last year that it was time to get sober. For me, for my children, for my husband. And I thought there was no better day to do it than on one of the worst days of my life. I wanted to take a day that was so terrible and turn it into something good. I wanted to make it positive so badly, and it's still hard. But, hold on a second. So, it is on this day, October 15th, 2025, that I am now officially 1 year sober. Yeah! I had been using coins, and I don't work a program. I've never been to an AA meeting, nothing like that. I just got the coins off of Amazon as a way to hold myself accountable and to try to keep hope. And I can't tell you how many times I had that 24-hour coin in the case, my little necklace case, and it just sat there because I could not get more than a day sober. Then there was the week sober, and that would work for a couple weeks, and then I'd be back to 24 hours, and it was very hard for me to get sober. It was very, very hard for me to get sober. Everybody in my life drinks. Everywhere, like, we have a gathering, people are drinking. Like, it was a very common occurrence in my life, and almost like a norm for everybody. Even though they knew, nobody liked when I was drinking. I was fun, don't get me wrong, I was the fun drunk. But I was fun until I wasn't fun. And then I was angry. And alone. People didn't want me drinking. And if I was gonna drink, they just didn't want me around because, again, it was fun until it wasn't fun anymore. I am not who I was, but who I chose to be. One day at a time, I step forward into the light. The past shaped me, but it does not define me. Wonder if I can clear that up for you real quick. Yeah. Here it is. It says guided by the light, and honestly, Ariel, Gracie, she is my light. She's my light every single day. She is the sun that shines so brightly in the sky, and she is the music in my ears, and she is the reason, I keep going. Now, am I saying I got sober for her? Not quite. I had to get sober for me. There is nothing under God's sun that is going to get you sober until you are ready. That is just bottom line. And everyone who has will tell you that. There is nothing, not your kids, not your marriage, not your family, not your house, not your pets, not your job, nothing is going to get you sober until you are ready. But it was on that day last year, which was October 15th, 2024, that was the last time I took a drink. My head's been tingling all day. It's kind of weird, actually. Probably something I should be concerned about. But I have a procedure Friday, so that's why I'm recording on a Wednesday, because I need to have this edited and ready to go out of the door, or go up to upload on Friday, Saturday. Well, Friday I'll be busy. So I need to have it ready by tomorrow night to have it available on Saturday. Because Friday, I'm not available. So why am I telling you this? The whole past trauma I've experienced is a part of my journey here. I had to go through absolute hell and back to get myself to this point in time. I do truly believe my sobriety is what made all of this, and let me show you, all of this possible. I saved money, I saved time, because I wasn't spending all day hiding somewhere, blasting music so loud that I couldn't think. I didn't want to think. I didn't waste time waking up and hungover in bed for half a day or more. I truly believe that my sobriety has led me up to this point, and I could never have done it without getting sober. Will I ever drink again? I don't know. I think about it sometimes. Am I gonna start drinking anytime soon? The thought of even trying to drink again. God. If I were to ask anybody that knows me, if I'm like, hey, I'm gonna think about drinking tonight, I guarantee you each and every one of them would be like, oh, why? You were doing so good! Because it's true. Nonetheless, I am a year sober today and counting, and we're just gonna keep going one day at a time, one step at a time, and guided by the light. That's actually really pretty. This turned out a lot prettier than I thought it was going to be. So that's one whole year, baby. If you or anybody you know struggles with substance abuse of any kind or mental health, including postpartum depression, there is help available. There are so many resources out there. I'm gonna put resources down in the description for you guys. There's the Suicide and Crisis Hotline, and there is also the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. All this information is gonna be down below in the description for you guys. It's okay to talk about these things. Clearly it was a little hard for me to discuss this today, and I put myself in a very vulnerable spot that I hope is met with patience. I encourage you guys, if you need help, to get it. You're worth saving. You might feel like a lost cause, because I'm telling you what, I thought I was a goner. I was ready to next exit, please. Yeet! But had I done that, I wouldn't be here with you guys today and experiencing the joy that my sobriety has given to me. And it's not always easy, you know. I have bad days. I still struggle with different things and stuff like that, but not nearly like I was. I have been able to have more clarity in my mind to process the things that have happened. I've been able to open up a little bit more about everything that's happened. I did end up going to therapy for a while. What was it, last year? Yeah, last year I started therapy, and I was in therapy for like 6 months before unfortunately my therapist had to leave or something, and sorry, my life. But if you're watching this, hi, do you see me? I did it, I'm doing so good. Oh, you'd be so proud. But it's okay to talk about these things. There was once a time that I would never have been able to talk about it without it triggering me. It all depends on how the situation is brought up, on how I'm gonna react to it. Most times I'm able to openly talk about it now without absolutely breaking down. I don't know if you can believe that after crying today, but I promise we're working on it. We're getting better. We're getting better. I plan on bouncing back next week with, resuming the building content and continuing the journey that I've been on. And I just felt like with today being such a important day in my life that it was something worth talking about with you guys. So, here's to 1 year. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. You know what this part means. You know what this part's gonna be. This is the part where I tell you to go down in the description and click the link and start following me on my socials. If you haven't yet, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm starting to upload on TikTok again. I'm kind of excited about it, actually. I've got some good stuff in the drafts from, just recently and months and months ago that I think it's funny, and whatever. So yeah, go follow me or something. Not in a weird stalkerish way though, please. Please don't do that. I don't like that. Yeah, don't do that.